That's kind of what I was alluding to earlier too, with, when I remember seeing a graphic and it was showing all the injuries all over his body, that he had been dealing with at that time. And this was a couple of years before that. Yeah. But you see something like that where I think, you told me the story about when you were in Washington.
Yeah, Kobe.
You might have been the one taping him up. I know. I don't know.
Well, you were there. I'm sure you were there. Kobe was hurt, and you came into Washington, D.C., and people say he might not play because he was injured. Mm-hmm. He went out there and...
You said he had his ankle was
was swollen or something, and he had a tremendous game. So I walked into the locker room. I said, Kobe, I thought you weren't going to play because your ankle was hurt. He says, Kermit, I only get the chance to come here one time, and people save their money up to bring their kids to see me play. He says, if I can get out there, I'm going to play. Yeah. And Michael, I'm sure, is the same way.
Exact same way. Yeah, that was something very common with both. I tell you, there's one trait that both of them had, and that's kind of part of it. That they had an incredible sensitivity to the fact of just what you just said, that they would know that, especially if it was a road game in the other conference where it was going to be just once a year, and they felt the responsibility to that, but they felt that responsibility really 82 nights a year, but in particular, certainly in a night where you're going to be in that city one time a year. The other thing that was incredible about both of them that I think is worth talking about is their ability to give. And what I mean by that is, first, so I saw it first with Michael because I worked with the Bulls before going back to the Lakers, but before every game on the road and at home, there would be, through these charitable organizations like Make-A-Wish, there would be a Make-A-Wish kid that would their wish was to meet Michael. And so the time that would take place would be before a game in an arena. And so I would see these interactions night after night. And one of the things that I just, and these are rough situations. I mean, these are like St. Jude's,
right.
Sad situations, often terminally ill situations with children. I mean, it doesn't get any worse, right? And it takes a certain kind of person to be able to, and strength to be able to deal with these things.
Right.
And they were both just magnificent with these kids, with the families, and making them feel at ease, making sure that these kids had a special experience. And I'm sure that there's people to this day, even decades later, that recall those interactions. And God willing, some of those hopefully those kids have, are all doing fine and recovered, and that was became a very special night in their lives. But not everybody is like that, and that was one of the things that both of those guys had. That was that I would just see night after night and just kind of be blown away by their ability to do that. Literally sometimes 60, 75 minutes before tip off.
Right.
When most players would want to just be alone and their focus and whatever, and they would. Yeah. But it talks about kind of how willing they are to give back.